Do you want to avoid being refused to Canada because of the reason that the officer is not satisfied that you will leave Canada at the end of your stay, based on the purpose of your visit, or based on your family ties in Canada and in your home country? Keep watching this video and I will tell you how.
Vancouver Tower, good afternoon, Philippine 1127 South, Barnum Road.
Philippine 116, Vancouver Tower, 116.
How long are you going to be here for? I have concerns that she may be seeking unauthorized employment in Canada.
Before we continue, just a reminder, I am not an immigration consultant. Although I am a graduate of the immigration consultancy or the immigration law, I am not registered as a member of the ICCRC. Therefore, any information that you will hear in this discussion are all general and not serve as legal advice. Many applications are being denied because of this reason. I am not satisfied that you will leave Canada at the end of your stay based on purpose of visit or based on family ties in Canada or in your home country. This means that you did not convince the immigration officer that you will go back home after your permit expires. According to Section 20, Sub 1B of the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act, a foreign national must satisfy an officer that he will leave Canada at the end of the period authorized for his temporary stay. That is why you need to demonstrate through your application by submitting evidentiary documents that you will depart Canada after the duration of your permit. You need to show that your intention to stay in Canada is only temporary. Your goal when applying for temporary resident visa is to convince the immigration officer that you will go back home after your permit expires. Now, let's look at the factors that the officer determines whether you will depart or remain in Canada after the duration of your stay. Whether the applicant has family ties to his country of residence, whether the applicant has the financial capability to be self-sufficient while in Canada, the applicant immigration status in his country of residence, the economic and political condition in the applicant's country of residence, and the applicant obligation and responsibilities in his country of residence. Let's talk about them one by one. Family and economic ties. The officer will consider whether you have family living with you in your country of residence and whether they will be accompanying you to Canada. If you do not have family in your country of residence, you will be deemed not to have family ties in your country of residence. In this case, the officer may think that you are less likely to be motivated to return to your country than if you have family ties there. Your employment and financial status in your country is also important. The officer will determine whether you are employed and how much is your salary. Has your employer approved your request for leave? Or do you have an employer expecting you coming back? This will prove that you have genuine intention to return. Your properties in your country can also indicate that you have strong ties. Financial self-sufficiency. You need to prove that you have sufficient funds to cover your living expenses for the duration of your stay, including your family members if they are coming with you to Canada. The amount of money required varies according to your circumstances. For example, the length of your stay and the number of family members that will accompany you to Canada. Here is the list of supporting documents that you could be included as evidence. Bank statements showing that you have accumulated savings for you and for your accompanying family members. Letters of employment from your company indicating your occupation and earnings. Evidence of your assets such as deeds including any of your ownership and your spouse. If you have family members in Canada and willing to support you during your stay, they can provide you with letter of invitation and the officer will examine whether your family member has the ability to support you. Immigration status. The officer will examine your immigration status in your country of residence. In Section 11, Sub 2 of the regulation, it allows the applicant to apply from any country aside from their country of citizenship as long as they are lawfully admitted to that country and physically present while processing their application. That is why overstaying in any country will trigger a bad sign that undermines your efforts to convince the officer that you will not do the same in Canada. Economic and political conditions. The officer will consider the economic and political situation in your country. This is important because even if you have strong ties to your home country, an unstable economic or political condition makes you decide not to leave Canada. Other obligation and responsibilities. The officer may consider any other obligations or responsibilities that you have in your home country if you disclose them in your application. Responsibilities such as caring for your elderly family member or any other business obligations. If you're able to address these 5 issues in your application, it will demonstrate a strong argument or rationale that you will leave Canada after your permit expires. Remember, again, your goal is to convince the officer that you will leave Canada after the duration of your permit. It is important to remember that the onus to provide sufficient evidence to support the applicant case rests on the applicant. So review your application carefully and think whether your application is most likely will get approved or denied. That is the end of this video. I hope you learned something and good luck with your application. If you have any clarification about this topic, write it on the description below. You can also visit the IRCC website to learn more about immigration to Canada.